Stories from the Margin, Horror and Rescuer. Question: who are we if we don't believe we are who people see us to be? And I'm Dr. K.P. McKee, founder and executive director of a Spacious Place Creativity and Spirituality Center. We would love to hear from you and read stories that you have written from the perspective of lesser known characters, which is what we're doing with this series right now. We have the past couple of weeks had some issues with volume on this storytelling segment. So we're hoping that we've gotten that fixed and that you can hear us a little bit better. If you are with us right now and can give us a thumbs up if you can hear us okay, or a thumbs down if you're struggling to hear, we would do what we can to fix that. So we're going to get ready to be in story listening mode right now. So find a place where you can get comfortable and maybe take some deep breaths, because we as humans are storytelling creatures. We make sense of our lives through stories, and there is a magic to stories that draws us together. Cultures across time and across the globe have told stories. So we offer these stories as a way to encourage you to do your own creating of storytelling, to enjoy the magic of stories, and also as an opportunity for us all to stand in someone else's shoes and look at the world from a perspective other than the ones that we may be more comfortable with, which makes us better global citizen and expands our souls. So as we get ready for today's story, I just hope you will breathe deep and maybe settle in wherever you find a comfy place to be. And I'm going to sound the bell to let you know that we're getting ready to enter the magic of a story, and then I'll sound the bell again when the story is over. They call me whore. When they pass me on the street, heads down, eyes averted lest I contaminate them, they utter the word beneath their breath and hurry by, spewing judgment. They have seen their husbands and fathers and sons look long at me. Bitterness must find a scapegoat somewhere. That is my role, scapegoat and whore. So be it. I ceased long ago to live in their world. My life has been cruel, but life has given me a family, father, mother, brothers, sisters, all who depend on me for bread. I did not ask to be caregiver for so many, but I will do what I can, what I must. We are debt slaves, required to pay our obligations. I have some enterprise, for I am a woman of drive and intellect. I weave wool and I mill flax, but these tasks alone cannot provide for so many. I hoard to feed my family. One day I will not be attractive enough or well enough even for that, but by then my parents will be dead, and perhaps I can get by on my other work. That is the only hope I afford myself for what could possibly change a life such as mine. And then the rumors. I hear them from other prostitutes who hear them from their clients. They whisper of a wild transient tribe that dried up the waters of the Jordan and then slaughtered King Og and King Bashan. A thrill in my gut. Is it fear or hope? Tells me the God of these people, the God these people follow, has power. Power carries meaning for me, for powerlessness has been my lifelong companion. We are a walled city, I tell myself. Why fear a ragtag tribe and their traveling God? And yet I do fear, for walls are built by human hands upon an earth built by hands I cannot see. What if those hands grasped our walls and toppled them? Then 2 of them came, straight into our town, straight into my house. It looked to my condemners like business as usual, but for once I had the power. The spies visited my house. I could do with them as I willed. Turn them over to the king if I chose, perhaps be rewarded. But I knew by now not to trust the power brokers of Jericho. These 2 men, spying out my city, felt more like kin than my own king. And their God seemed to me worthy of my loyalty. This day I could choose to be the woman I knew, rather than the woman others chose to see. I hid the men under a flax pile on my roof. When the king's men came looking, I lied. Told them my clients left before the city gates closed. If the seekers hurried, they just might catch them. The spies emerged then, covered in flax and reeking of fear sweat. I pressed them to spare my family when their God took our city. I had no doubt this God could do anything, for here was power beyond imagining. The spies promised, on condition that I hang a crimson weaving cord from my window and secret my family inside our house. I agreed and lowered the 2 by rope over the wall and into the waiting dark. I cut a crimson cord, fastened it to the window, and felt for the first time in my memory the hope of freedom. Then came the strange daily marches. 7 of their holy men carrying trumpets, and 4 bearing on poles a golden box that flashed fire in the sun. The holy men blew their horns into the silence, for though the entire tribe, thousands and thousands of them, paraded behind their priest, not one made a sound other than the slap, slap, slap of sandals against dirt. Nothing but the padding of countless feet and the eerie sounding of the trumpets day after day, circling our city and then departing. I watched, mesmerized, and a thrill of something between wonder and horror settled in my belly. 6 days all. 6 days of trumpets and silent parading. People in the streets joked about it, making it small and silly, but I could feel their fear. It hung in the air, cloying and cold, and we could not escape it. The 7th day began as the others. Trumpets sounding in silence, a soundless circuit of the city walls. But when the wanderers completed 1 circuit of the city, they began again. A 2nd circuit, then a 3rd, a 4th, 5th, 6th. The tribe began to circle Jericho a 7th time. Watching from my window, I saw their leader give a signal. Shouts erupted from the mass, shouts so loud, so fierce, and so wild that I cupped my hands over my ears. My heart raced. It was happening. And I propelled my family to the center of our home. No one leaves, I commanded, no matter what. The earth writhed beneath us, and the walls above us rocked. Then the sounds and smells of falling rock and rising dust. Screams from the injured and the terrified. On and on it went, until the only world I could imagine was the small space in my home and the people who occupied it. We could barely see for all the pulverized stone and dust in the air. We breathed it in and coughed it up. But we stayed, though our terror compelled us to run. I bullied my family into submission. I had cared for them all along, had I not? They must trust me now. We must wait in place as our city collapses around us. 2 familiar faces emerged from the dust-laden air. The spies I had sheltered days ago. They led us out of the city and into the Israelite camp. I stood, watching war fires eat away what was left of Jericho. I watched my home and my business descend in ashes. Even from our distance, the smell of burning reached and engulfed us, stealing into our hair and our clothes. But I also watched the fire consume my debts. I was a free woman, my family safe and free. True, we were outsiders among these people, but had I not been an outsider all my life? I wonder what happened to Rahab and her family as they perhaps journeyed with the Israelites on their wilderness journey. That would be a story that you might want to consider writing from the perspective of Rahab or perhaps another member of her family. And if you chose to do that and share it with us, we would love to read it. So, or any other story that you would like to consider from the perspective of a character other than the one that we most think of as being the lead character in a story. And we would also like to share with you something on a little lighter note. We began our Art Madness last Sunday because we are doing the same thing as March Madness with the brackets, except with art. And we are now at a new level from the votes that we have gotten so far, and it is not too late to start and participate now. We'll be doing this bracket up through today to next Saturday night, and so you have plenty of chance to vote. You can vote on Instagram, on Twitter, on our Facebook page. You can even email us with your votes, whatever works best for you. So just so you know where we are now, we have chosen Van Gogh's Sunflowers. Can you see it there? Van Gogh's Sunflowers and the Sphinx of Giza. So those are our brackets there. And then Slaying Holofernes and Moulin Rouge. So there's those two. And coming in on the side, so these are the art pieces and these are the art media. So we're choosing paint and chalk for these and poster board and wall. So you're going to want to vote between Sunflowers and Sphinx, and between Slaying Holofernes and Moulin Rouge, and then also vote between paint and chalk, and vote between poster board and wall. And of course, if you have any questions, we'll be happy to answer those. Just let us know what you're wondering about. So if you have found this helpful, please do like it on Facebook. You can also rewatch on Facebook, on YouTube, or on our website, www.aspaciousplace.com. And beginning the Sunday after Easter, we are going to be offering our Liminal Pages Creative Journaling series again, which we do online, and it'd be an opportunity to do some kind of this sort of creating. And we do it in community, but everyone is welcome to keep their work private should they choose to do so. There's never any pressure to share. So you can go on our website and look at that and sign up if you would be interested in doing that. It's a 6-week sessions, and we would love to have you join us. We're trying to keep it fairly small so that we can build some community. Let's close with prayer. Come to us at the margins, God, and draw us into the center of your love. Amen.